wasn't just a gangster. He was the architect of modern organized crime. But what if I told you? Lucky Luciano's empire was built not just on crime, but on cunning alliances and audacious betrayals. From orchestrating the downfall of his mentors to striking covert deals with the US government, Luciano's story is one of power, deception, and intrigue. How did he ascend to such heights? And what secrets did he take to his grave? Let's uncover the enigma of Lucky Luciano. Born Salvatore Lucania in Sicily, 1897, he stepped onto American soil at just 9 years old. The Lower East Side wasn't just a melting pot, it was a cauldron of ambition and crime. While many sought the American dream through honest toil, young Luciano had a different vision. By 14, he wasn't just another street kid. He was running his own gang, dabbling in extortion, and making a name that sent shivers down spines. But it wasn't just brute force. Luciano possessed a strategic mind that saw beyond the street corners. The Mafia was a fractured entity, riddled with infighting and betrayals. Luciano envisioned a unified organization, structured like a corporation, where power was balanced and profits were paramount. The bloody Castellamarese War was the crucible. Luciano, once a loyal aide, orchestrated the assassination of his own boss, Joe Masseria, in 1931. But the bloodletting didn't end there. Maranzano, who crowned himself boss of bosses, became Luciano's next target. In a swift move, Luciano eliminated Maranzano, abolishing the archaic title and establishing the Commission, a democratic council to govern the underworld's affairs. With the underworld's throne secured, Luciano diversified his portfolio, turning illicit ventures into gold mines. Luciano's grip on New York's prostitution was ironclad. Over 200 brothels operated under his command, each meticulously managed. His cut, a cool 30% of every transaction. But this empire wasn't built without controversy. In 1936, Special Prosecutor Thomas E. Dewey targeted Luciano, leading to his conviction on 62 counts of compulsory prostitution and a sentence of 30 to 50 years. It was a landmark case, marking the downfall of one of the most powerful figures in organized crime. Beyond the flesh trade, Luciano ventured into narcotics, establishing pipelines that funneled heroin into America's veins. His international connections ensured a steady supply, feeding the nation's growing addiction. Partnering with the astute Meyer Lansky, Luciano transformed gambling from backroom dice games to grand casinos. Havana became a gambler's paradise, with Luciano pulling the strings from the shadows. Infiltrating labor unions, Luciano wielded the power to halt or greenlight major construction projects. His influence ensured that businesses played by his rules, or faced crippling strikes and delays. 1936 saw Luciano behind bars, but prison bars couldn't contain his influence. As World War II raged, the US government faced a dire threat. Nazi saboteurs targeting New York's vital ports. Desperate times called for desperate measures. The government turned to an unlikely ally, Luciano. In a covert pact dubbed Operation Underworld, Luciano's associates secured the docks, ensuring the safe passage of troops and supplies. In return for his cooperation, Luciano's sentence was commuted in 1946, but with a catch: deportation to Italy. Yet, even an ocean away, his reach remained formidable. Luciano didn't just influence crime, he revolutionized it. The commission he created became the blueprint for every major crime family in America. His concept of organized crime turned street thugs into businessmen, and street fights into corporate takeovers. Even decades after his death, Luciano's fingerprints are everywhere, from modern drug cartels to the corrupt unions, from the glitz of Vegas to the shadows of global crime rings. His innovations, frighteningly effective, outlived him. The heroin routes Luciano helped pioneer still funnel poison through ports today. His alliances with Jewish mobsters, Cuban dictators, and American politicians created a web of power that defied borders. He died in exile in 1962, but he was never powerless. Luciano built more than a criminal empire. He built a legacy, a billion-dollar machine that ran on fear, loyalty, and cold, calculated strategy. Lucky Luciano might be gone, but his machine, his methods, his madness still echo through the underworld today. Because the Mafia he built, it never truly died. It evolved.